People, moments, places, time, for centuries moving together and now moving no more. The world is still now as calm waters in an ocean of unfiltered memory, but the ocean has evaporated. When did the first droplet of this ocean enter the first goblet, and whose hand held it? Where did the droplets go, the sea expanding to accommodate? Down, down, down until the nothingness hits rock bottom, until the world's last droplet overflows. The world's oceans drowning their inhabitants and flowing endlessly into the black. Until now. Everything good and everything horrendous ends now, whether people and places are ready or not. Skyscrapers half finished, reaching lazily toward a heaven that doesn't exist and never did. It just ends. It all ends. Blow out the birthday candles, turn the laundry, clock into work, as if next week's paycheck will matter when it's all over. See, it got too complicated. The oceans are too large, the polar bears are drowning, and soon we'll all drown. We'll all end with our moments slimed over inside our nostrils, algae clinging to the confines of our still and silent chest chambers. The lungs moving no more. Our stagnant rib cages, rusting over before disappearing. Endings cling to beginnings. Pessimism overpowered, suicide averted, but not this time. When it's truly over, when the oceans run dry, we won't be remembered. There will be no one and nothing to remember. Everything will be as it once was, as if we never even existed. Silence. On the day the world ended, Penny was running from the only place she'd ever known. If home is where the heart is, Penny's church heels, white as the clouds that would soon turn dark overhead, hounded her home into the dirt road away from the house she was reared in. Of course, Penny had no idea that that day would be the last day. Her little girl ballerina mind twirling around the worries that were her own otherwise insignificant world. Her blonde curls slapped her baby cheeks. They were more soft than her mother's hands. And her mother chased her then. Her imagination was as strong as her brother Hall wished he could be. Her mother's robe slippers slapped the road silently behind her. She slurred,
Penny! Your fucking white heels, your dusty dress. Do you scrub your own sweaty armpits, devil girl? Do you sew the ripped knees in your stockings? Come back or I'll beat your ass bloody. Your running is putting runs in your leggings, you bastard child.
She faded away then, but she was never really there. Mother dearest Mallory would spend her last day on earth as she spent the last 2 years of it, surrounded by squalor and still on the stained living room couch, occasionally moaning for Hall or Gale to bring her water on a good day, to shine on the others. Gale was Penny's older sister, and she was the one actually chasing her down the road. She was the one throwing those mean threats to the wind, and meaning them, because she did have to scrub the laundry, and boil the nightly rice, and prick her tiny thumbs on sewing needles that felt larger than pencils between her fingers. Gale ran faster than Penny, but Pen was almost there. The wind sang fairy tales through the flower field ahead, and Penny let it lift her where she wanted to be. It was truly a beautiful place to die, but she wasn't thinking that as she lay down and looked upward. Gale wasn't thinking that as she halted at her sister's feet, breathless and full of hellish fury. Little girls don't want to die. Most of the time. Little girls want to find some way to live happily ever after. What a shame. As Gale stared her down, the clouds casting intermittent shadows over Penny's fake slumber. She let the fury go with each sweet inhale and sour exhale. And she laid down beside her sister. They were like that for a long time.
You need to stop running.
Gale whispered gentler than her prior self.
You need to stop running after me.
Gale didn't know what to say to that. Her sister was impossible. Halfway across the globe, it started. It hadn't yet reached them. Fortunate, because the sun was beginning to set. They sat in silence again. With a quick rustle of organics, Hall appeared. Though he was happy to see them, he never smiled.
Mom's asleep,
He said.
I'm sorry for what you did, Penny.
It's not your fault.
He just stood and wouldn't lay down. It was silent. How wondrous the sound of the sudden breeze through the flowers, a million kissing stems and buds. Hall wanted to cry, and in reality he'd cried more than his sisters did. He just didn't let them see. He never let anyone see. He wanted to lay down with them. Why couldn't he lay down? That emotion of men, deadly to behold. Pride. Half a world away, children their age sobbed into the breasts of screaming adults turned childish with fear. Deafening noise, block by block the madness. But here in the field of flowers, 3 wild children didn't speak.
Lay down, Hall.
Gale commanded, not unkindly.
Don't tell me what to do.
His voice cracked a bit. With tears or puberty, they couldn't tell.
Please lay down with us, Hall.
Penny said.
We're gonna sleep in the field tonight.
Penny had no idea how true that was. Hall laid down then, and they watched the sunset. They thought of their lives thus far, memories so full and bright, not yet a lifetime's worth, but lifetimes were in their blood. And they shared it. They shared it all together. The womb, the house, the death. They succeeded in this moment, an experience of unspeakable simpleness, and the sky began to fall around them. Together they were, hands clasped and eyes upward, not unlike the skyscrapers that tried for heaven. The children did not yet know how completely they had failed.